Hi, welcome back to the Happiness in Between. I know it's been a while since I've had an opportunity to upload anything or video anything, but I wanted to share something with you that maybe will be interesting to you. It's kind of an experiment for me. I purchased this off of Buy Sell Trade, the Facebook Sojourner page, and it arrived to me with a terrible smell. Now, I assume and I do believe that it's actually just a really stinky leather. It kind of smells like a dead animal. So I think the leather just was smellier than any other leather I've ever received. I have tried quite a few different notebooks over the past little over a year that I've been doing this just for fun. And I have really enjoyed my Sojourners. So I purchased this, I received it probably about 6 days ago now. I tried to clean it just with vinegar and warm water, just a surface wiping of it. I tried a wipey. They have not made a dent in the smell. So I took a bag of oregano that I had. I didn't have any lavender at the time. And I took a bag of oregano and I put it in the bag of oregano for a day in the cabinet, and then I put it for several days in the freezer, hoping that that might impact the smell a good bit. And it just hasn't. The smell is so strong. So I would like to use this notebook. I really like it. I like the color, I like the leather, and I'd like to know what I should do if I ever receive a really stinky leather notebook again. So I'm doing this experiment so that I can share it with you. The dust that I'm wiping off, I don't know how well it's showing up on screen, is from the oregano that I froze it in about 4 baggies sealed with oregano all through it. So I'm just taking a minute to dust that out, and I'm actually going to wash this with some warmer water and dish soap, not colored dish soap, just clear. I'm sensitive to smells and some different chemicals, so I just use clear. And then I also put some apple cider vinegar in the water. So I'm going to do that so that you can watch me do it, and we'll see what happens, and I'll just do a follow-up so that you can see afterwards what happens. I have never done this before, and I'm not really certain what's going to happen to it, but I can't stand the smell. So I'm just going to do very gentle, not agitating it, because I don't want to ruin the leather if at all possible. I just really want that smell to be gone. So this is a different color, obviously, than the darker leather underneath, so I'm not certain. That might change a bit. I don't think it's the light color leather. I think it's this darker, which is the special brown leather. And I have a few Sojourners that have the special brown pocket. They do not have this smell. So I am not 100% positive that it's, natural to the leather, but I do like leather, and I have smelled some leather that was pretty stinky. I just haven't received any traveler's notebooks that were that smelly before. So I'm not the first owner, so I'm not trying to speak ill of Sojourner or anything like that, because sometimes leather has strong smells. And not very pleasant ones sometimes. Usually I love the smell of leather. Like I said, this is actually the first notebook, traveler's notebook, Folio, that I've ever received that just was a smell that I didn't like. I've even gotten some that had really strong, like somebody stored it with potpourri, and I can't really do potpourris. They give me migraine headaches, and I didn't think to ask a couple times and received one. It was no big deal. That actually just my own fault for not asking, because I think those smells smell lovely. They just don't do lovely things to my head. So we're all different, and I am more sensitive than some people to smells, but I'm pretty confident that anybody who smelled this would smell the smell that I'm smelling. So I'm trying this in desperation. I'm going to soak this clear through. You can see this pocket. You can see there's a few spots where it hasn't soaked clear through yet, but I'm going to soak it clear through. I think you can see the color of the water is kind of changing. It's a little bit more brown than it was. And I am very hopeful that doing a gentle cleaning will make the smell dissipate to the point that I can use it without feeling a little sick. It was pretty strong. It actually did give me a bit of a headache, but I am susceptible to headaches, so I'm not saying it would do the same thing for everybody. But I just thought I'd share with you what I'm doing to try and rid my traveler's notebook. Folio actually is what this is, but since they are used similarly, I sometimes accidentally interchange the term. But yeah, so this is just a beautiful Sojourner. I like it so much, and I will treat this maybe with some neat's foot oil or something like that afterwards, but I'll have to post that at a later date because obviously this is going to need some time to dry. So again, this is just a little bit of warm water and dish soap and vinegar. And I'm sorry, I just bonked my camera. That's not pleasant to watch, but so there we have it. And I am not going to leave it to soak in there long because I really don't want to ruin it if at all possible. So I'm just going to scooch this over here and I'm going to put this out, brushing the herbs to the side. And I'm going to try as carefully as possible. I'm actually going to rinse this off in my sink, which is right over here. Okay, so sorry about that, but I did take it over and rinse it with some warm water in my sink, and I'm just going to leave it here for a minute flat to dry. I'm going to try and take some paper towels to it, just gently to try and sop up some of that liquid. So I know that's shaking the camera a little bit, but again, I just wanted to share my process, and then I'll show you the end result as well. So you got to see not exactly the start, because by the time you saw it, it was covered in a bit of the powder, but pretty much what I started with. So I am hopeful that this will significantly help the smell. So just a lovely folder, and I don't mind if it has a little bit of evidence of it being washed, because I plan on using it and loving it, but I have to be able to stand smelling it every time I use it. So if anybody else ever goes through this, I am not going to suggest you necessarily wash your traveler's notebook, but I couldn't sell it to somebody with that smell without telling them that it smelled horrible. And honestly, I love it. It's beautiful, and I would like to use it. I'd like to enjoy it. So that's what I'm going to try and do. So thank you so much for watching, and I will post an update as it dries. And I'm going to try and not lift this up very much because I don't want to stretch out the leather there, but I might have to lift it up a little bit. But hopefully it'll dry fairly well. If I'm going to put anything in here, I think I'll take a little leather opener or something thin and push something down in it. I don't want to do it with my finger because I'll stretch out the leather and that won't go back. So I don't want to put my hand in there and stretch that out when I put something in to dry. So I'm just going to share that, even though I'm not going to show you putting something in there. I will probably put a paper towel in there, but I'm going to take a letter opener or a really thin plastic ruler that I have for journaling, and I'll use that to put a paper towel in there so that I'm not damaging and stretching out the leather any more than, you know, is already going to be done. So there we have it. I will come back and I will update after it's dry and tell you how it went, and hopefully treat it with some kind of oil, neat's foot or something like that when it's all dry. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week and get an opportunity to enjoy all those little things that are the happiness in between. Thank you. Bye.